I don't anticipate too many people coming today. It's a very short day, and we all have things to do. We're up to the Gemara and Tesvav on Aleph. We're a little ahead of the thing. And we were discussing going ahead and sending gifts. Going ahead and sending gifts, what you could send, what you couldn't send. Something was main thing, it should be usable. And the Gemara concluded with a rule. Zeh klal, this is the rule. Right, the Gemara concluded, Zeh klal, this is the rule. Kol shen neusin by bayoim, anything that you have use with by bayom beyontif. Rav Sheshes sharilu rabbanon l'shedurei tefillin b'yumatava. Rav Sheshes permitted rabbanon to send tefillin on yontif. To send tefillin on yontif. He permitted to go ahead and send tefillin on yontif, which seems to be a tremendous chiddush. Says Rashi. Let's finish the Gemara. Anything that you have usage on yontif you can send, and l'chayr you don't wear tefillin on yontif. So the Gemara says, let's go ahead and amend the sentence. Here's the way you have to read it. Kol shnusim boy b'choil. Anything that you could use during the day, during the weekday, guys, look back in the Mishnah. Look back in the Mishnah on Yudal on the base. So here's the way we read it, and this was a kasha. Right before the lines get by 2 lines up. Zeh klal, this is the rule of what you can send. Kol shenausim by yontif. Anything you can use on yontif, mishalchem esay. So therefore, since you can't use tefillin on yontif, you should not be able to send it. How about if I read it this way? Kol shenausim boy kama. Anything that you could use, period, any time during the week, the yontif mishalchem esay. On yontif you can send. So by putting the comma in a different place, it changes the halacha. And that's what we just said over here, that you could send tefillin on yontif. Rabbi, tefillin hoyel basle yadan. Since you're discussing tefillin, name of a milsa. Now, it's very interesting. You know why you can send a gift, guys? It's part of your simchus yontif. When you send a gift to somebody and he receives it, it makes you feel happy. It makes you feel good. So even though he's going to get the tefillin, he's going to feel good about it. It's simchus yontif, so it's a very good thing. So now, since you're discussing tefillin, we'll go ahead and mention something about tefillin. I'm going to buy a tefillin hoyel basle yadan, name of a milsa. Someone's walking on the derech, and Rashi says it's Erev Shabbos, and he has tefillin on his head. He should put his hands on top of him that people shouldn't see it until he gets to his house. Mashmi can wear it all the way up to his house. If he was sitting in the Beis HaMedrash, for tefillin b'roishai, again Rashi learns and v'kiddush lavayoyin, maniach yodei aleim asher magiel lebeisai, the same thing. So in both cases, he's able to take it all the way to his house. Masav Rav Huna Brei Rav Ika, Hayipa B'derech, B'tfilin B'roishai, V'kiddush Lavayoyim, Meniach Yodei Aleim, Ashem Megiel Lebayis HaSamach L'Chayma. He has to go ahead and cover them up until when? Until the first house he gets inside the city. But he can't wear it to his house. That's the kasha. You said before, you can wear a bayi, you can wear it to the house. You see, you can't wear it to your house. You can only wear it to the house that's closest in the city. So the house that's closest to Beis Medrash, but not to your own house. Kasha, like kasha, is not a problem. If it's going to be watched in the house that's close to the chayma or the house that's close to the Beis Medrash, then you don't wear it to your house. Then you leave it over there. But if it's not going to be watched, then you have permission to go ahead and wear it all the way to your house. So 2 different scenarios. Either like minta fred gemara, if it's not watched, my area beroishay, why do you care if you're wearing it on your head that you could take it away to your house? If it's not being watched, I feel a machta ba'ara, even if it's lying on the ground in nami, you'll be able to pick it up and bring it to the house. Again, you're wearing it. You bring it to your house because it's not going to be watched. Fred gemara, then tell me a bigger chiddush. If you buy b'derech and you find tefillin not on your head, you find them on the road, and they're not going to be watched, you can wear it all the way to your house. So why tell me, if speaking where it can't be watched, why are you limiting it to being wearing on your head? Even if you're not wearing on your head, you should be able to pick it up and take it to your house. Says someone finds tefillin, do we have this more in Erevin? Machnisan zug, you can wear it in. So it says Malay Kasha, let's revise it. When does he, in other words, when he said it's not being watched, here's what he meant. It's not being watched so much. If it's watched in the house closest to the city or closest to the Beis Medrash, both to the level of dogs not being able to get it and ganav and not being able to get it, then you could leave it there and not wear it to your house. When can you wear it to your house is where it's partially watched. It's watched that dogs can't get it, but a ganef would be able to get it. Then you wear it to your house. Gemara explains, even though it's minter legabe dogs and not machmas ganbe, I might think most people are Jews, and therefore to go steal someone's tefillin, kemash malon, then when it's comes to geld, it's an andere Welt, they would steal your tefillin, therefore you could wear it all the way to your house. Hajjalach Beitzah, Hajjalach Beitzah, Hajjalach Beitzah. Okay, the next parak is a very famous parak, this parak of Erev Tavshilin. For proper Hakdama, I would need more time because I didn't really totally prepare great, but let's see what we got, okay? We can see this? Guys, you can see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, this is a Gemara on Daf Mem Zayin Amid Beis in Masechta Pesachim. Itmar ha'oife biyantif l'chayil. If someone bakes from yantif to chayil, you're baking on yantif for the purpose of chayil. Rav Chisda Amar Loika, you're going to get malchus. You're going to get malchus. You're over to lav. Rabbi Amar ain't a Loika. Rabbi says you're not going to get malchus. What's the svaras hamachlekes? Rav Chisda Amar Loika lo yamrinan hayil umitli le'erchim chazilei. Since if archim would show up on yantif, it's chazi to the archim, but you don't say that. Therefore, you're baking from Shabbos, from yantif to chayil. Rabbi Amar ain't a Loika. Rabbi says you're not going to get malchus. I'm reading hayil. So this is like, guys, remember we have the concept of mitoich shehutru litzarech, and simply it becomes mitoich. That buzzword mitoich. The buzzword over here is hayil. Hayil umikle the archim. Since archim could show up in the afternoon, even though you ate your meal already, since they can show up in the afternoon, that baked goods can be seen for them for yontif. Therefore, you're not going to get malchus. That's according to Rabbah. If Chisda does not hold of the concept of hayil, if Chisda does, okay. Amalei Rabbi Rav Chisda l'didach. According to you, the amis lo yamin and hayil that you say we don't say hayil, heich oifin miyantif l'Shabbos. Just like you can't bake from yantif to chayil, you can't bake from yantif to Shabbos. So how in the world could you do that? You don't say hayil that the archim would show up. So amalei mishum erev tavshilin, because we have something, a device called erev tavshilin, which we'll see exactly how it works. And since I have erev tavshilin, I'm able to cook from yantif to Shabbos. And would tavshilin be permitted? And this is the deraisa. So amalei. So Rav Chisda said, midaraisa tzarchei Shabbos nasa b'yantif. Midaraisa, you could go ahead on Yontif and prepare for Shabbos. For Rabbanan hu de gazru bei gezera shema yomru. Maybe they'll go ahead and say what? Oh, gosh. Shema yomru oifin miyontif af l'chayil. They'll make a mistake. What will they say? Okay, they'll say, really, midaraisa says Rav Chisda, I can cook from Shabbos to from Yontif to Shabbos. Midaraisa, I can cook from Yontif to Shabbos. For Rabbanan hu de gazru that you can't. Why would they geyser? If we'll let you prepare from Yontif to Shabbos, you make it prepare from Yontif to Chayil. The kivin that tzruchu Rabbanan erev tavshilin islaha keira. Since the Rabbanan require erev tavshilin, you have a heker. So it comes out, according to Rabbah, you're able to cook from Yontif to Shabbos midaraisa, no problem. According to Rav Chisda, you also can. Rabbah's reasoning is the concept of hayil. Since midaraisa ken zayin, it's asa. Excuse me, look, Rabbah, it's asa to cook. Why can I cook? Because hayil of archim show up, I could use it for them. I'm cooking for Yontif, not for Shabbos. Conversely, Rav Chisda holds no. Rav Chisda says you don't hold the concept of hayil. So if you don't hold the concept of choil, how in the world could you ever cook from Yontif to Shabbos? So he goes, because it's not asa, right? Says the Gemara, if it's not asa, so what's the purpose of Erev Tavshilin? So because Erev Tavshilin is a din d'Rabbanan. What's the Rabbanan din? If you don't make a heker, if you don't do anything, you may come to cook from Yontif l'choil. So even though you could cook from Sorchei Shabbos or permitted on Yontif, to go ahead and avoid making a mistake from Yontif l'choil, we have Erev Tavshilin. So this is an introductory statement to the concept of Erev Tavshilin. So this is what our parak deals with. The first sugya, it's packed to the gills. Again, I'm going to blow. We'll do as much as I can today. We're all feeling a little pressure today, and B'ez Hashem, we'll get into it a little more in the coming days. Says the Mishnah on Tes Vav Amid Beis. Yontif shechal liyas erev Shabbos. Yontif that falls on erev Shabbos. Lo yivashel batchila. You shouldn't cook. You shouldn't cook according to Rav Chisda, right? According to Rav Chisda, it's a din d'Rabbanan. According to Rabbi, it's a din d'Raisa. Mi yontif l'Shabbos. Lo yivashel batchila mi yontif l'Shabbos. Al movashel hu liyontif. You could cook for yontif. If you have left over for Yontif, leave it over for Shabbos. For Oisa Tavshil me Erev Yontif, we make a Tavshil Erev Yontif, v'Sleimich alav l'Shabbos, and we're Sleimich on this Tavshil to cook for Shabbos as well. Let's see Rashi. Yontif lo yivashel b'tchila liyos tchilas bishulai bikra l'shem Shabbos. Don't cook on Yontif that the ikar bishul should be for Shabbos. El l'shem Yontif, it should be l'shem Yontif. Yehei tchilas bishulai, the beginning of the cooking. And whatever's left over, you hail Shabbos kidiktani. For azal, aval mevashel huli yantif ubaloy harama kitani lekaman. This is speaking without a harama. In other words, you have two people in your house, and you cook up a cholent for 30 people, right? He'll say, look, I'm cooking the covered yantif. I'll have something left over for Shabbos. You don't need a harama. You can cook. But oisa tavshil l'shem erev. Okay, and this tafshil will go ahead and permit you to cook. Okay, we'll get into it. There's Hashem. What is this tafshil? Shnei tafshilin. It's got to be two cooked foods. Tafshil echad, one cooked food. V'shavin, they both agree. V'dag ubitza she'alav. If you have two geshmaka dishes of fish that has egg in it, right, an eggy fish, then show you shnei tafshilin. That's considered two tafshilin. Beis Shammai would say that's an acceptable Erev tafshilin. Achloi, if it was eaten up, or it was lost, lo yivashel lo b'tchila, then you can't go ahead and say once I made it already, right? I could go ahead and use it. A little bit is left over, to cook on Shabbos. Okay, minani mili. How do you know? Rashi, minani mili lav dafka mikroi yolef, lav dafka you learn from a pasuk. The Erev Tavshilin d'Rabbanan. Erev Tavshilin is only d'Rabbanan. So what do you mean being a pasuk? Menani mili can make an Erev Tavshilin. V'hachi kamid boilei. Ahecha asmechu Rabbanan. On what would the Rabbanan soymich to go ahead and come up with this idea? In other words, this is the classic asmachta. The Rabbanan came up with the idea and they found the support from it in the Torah. So the Gemara says, Menani mili, this din d'Rabbanan, where is the asmacht in the Torah for Erev Tavshilin? So Amar Shmuel Damakra, the pasuk says, Zocher es Yom HaShabbos l'kadshoy. Now, really, we know Zochar Yom HaShabbos the Kadshoy, that Zechreo ala Kais. We use it that you should go ahead and make Kiddush on a Kais. But this is an asmachta. What does this mean? Zachreu, do something to remember Shabbos. Mi'acha sheboy la'ashkichai. You may come to forget it. It's Yontif, guys. You're busy with Yontif, going into Shabbos, but you're busy with Yontif. So what should you do? Zachreu, make some symbol, something to go ahead and remind you that what? Kumt Shabbos. Shabbos is coming. Let's do Rashi. Beautiful Rashi's here. Zachreu me'acha sheboy la'ashkichai. Kisheboy Yontif berev Shabbos. Karev Shabbos lashkiach, machmas yontif. Shemara b'sudas hayom. You're going to be busy. There's a mitzvah sudas hayom and Shabbos. You're going to be busy on yontif. You're going to be refresting away on yontif. Yontif. Shabbos, and you're not going to leave anything over for Shabbos. Kedei k'foidei. So what do? The Torah goes in and warns us to go ahead and remember Shabbos. In your simchas yontif, remember Shabbos. As a result of making this Erev Tavshilin, you're going to remember Shabbos in the simcha of yontif. Shabbos, because it's only written for the purpose of Shabbos. Beautiful Rashi explaining a beautiful, beautiful concept. In your simchas yontif, we are prone to forget Shabbos. Go ahead, make something to remember Shabbos. This is the asmachta for Erev Tavshilin on yontif, going into Shabbos. My timer, My time, why would they be talking? Rashi, what do you mean my time? You just told me Zachrei, right? Says Rashi, my time, Lama Tiknu Erev, right? Kra, Erev. Kra Vadai Lav Erev Mishtoi. It's not speaking about an Erev. The Lav Erev Mishtam, I mean, you don't hear Erev from it. Vasmachta Ba'almahu. The Chiyasa Kra, what does the Pasuk come to teach me? The Kiddush Hayam, as we learned in our Pesachim. Zachrei Olayayin, Erev Midabanon, Umar Roy Latakin. In other words, what problem is Erev coming to Mitakin? You explain the source to go ahead and remember it. But why do you need a memory? In other words, what's the point behind it? There must be something you're worried about. What's that concern? Amar Rava, Kadeshi Yevore Mani Yafa L'Shabbos Umani Yafa L'Yantiv. Says Rashi, guys, Rashi's. Amar Rava, Kadei what? Sheyevore Mani Yafa. Mitoich Shema Arev. Since you're going to make an Erev, Zocher Es HaShabbos. You'll remember Shabbos. Ve'ein mechala es hakol yontif, and you won't eat up everything for yontif. Uborim mana lezeh umana lezeh. By putting aside a piece of food, you're going ahead and remembering Shabbos. Yeah, look, this is for yontif. Me took my yontif meal, and here I'm putting away for Shabbos. That's what Rava says. The point is to go ahead and remember Shabbos. Ravashi says, Kidei sheyomro ein oifen mi yontif l'Shabbos, that you shouldn't think you're able to go ahead and bake for yontif Shabbos kal v'chaymer. That if I don't let you bake from Shabbos L'Yontif, certainly you won't bake from Shabbos L'Choil. Ravashi Amar Rashi, Lo L'Chavet Shabbos Tiknu. The purpose of the Erev Tavshilin is not L'Chavet Shabbos, El L'Chavet Yontif. It's for the purpose of Chavet Yontif. And if you're going to make an Erev Tavshilin on Yontif L'Shabbos, it's to remind you the Indian Chavet from Yontif to Choil. It's a choil dikadin. It's not a Shabbos dikadin. We're not worried about you forgetting about Shabbos. We're worried forgetting about Yontif. You're worried you may have to go ahead and bake from Yontif l'choil. That's the purpose. So machloik is between Rava and Ravashi. Rava says it's for Shabbos. The purpose of Erev Tavshilin is to remember Mani Yafa l'Shabbos. The purpose of Erev Tavshilin, according to Ravashi, is to ensure you don't forget Yontif l'choil. You'll say, well, if I'm able to go ahead and cook from Shabbos to Yontif, certainly I'll be able to go ahead. If I can't cook from Shabbos, I won't be able to cook from Shabbos to Chol. Tanan. Hesh, wow, yeah.
Is that machlokes also would make a difference in the time of the day when you make the Erev Tavshilin?
Absolutely.
Would there be a nafkamina in the time of the day?
Absolutely. There's a nafkamina. The nafkamina is, I think, in the machlokes between Rav Chisda and Rabbi. Machlokes between Rav Chisda and Rabbi that we saw. According to Rabbi, you say hoil, right? Well, according to Rabbi, why am I able to go ahead and make for Shabbos the Yantu? Because say hoil since Orchim would show up. Let's say it's so late in the day that Orchim don't show up. Then if you would bake from Yantu l'choil, you'd be chayiv according to Rabbi. Like Rav Chisda, that you can always make Tzorchei Yantu for Shabbos, you would be able to. So that's not a nafkamina between these two Amoroyim. It's between the Amoroyim and Masechta Psachim on Daf Mem Vav. Like Rabbi, you say Hoyel, you would need enough time in the day for Orchim to show up. If you don't have enough time in the day, you won't be able to cook from Yantif to Shabbos. Conversely, like Rav Chisda says you can always cook from Yantif to Shabbos, it will make a difference. Do you hear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Now, Tanan, we learned in our Mishnah. Oisa tavshil me erev yontif, the soymech alav l'Shabbos. You can make a tavshil erev yontif and be soymech alav l'Shabbos. So erev yontif, you go ahead. You would have to make it dafka on erev. In other words, according to Rava, that Mani Yafa the Shabbos, Mani Yontif, you'd have to make it Erev Yontif. On Erev Yontif, Samech l'Shabbos. Now, Bishleim l'Ravashi, who says the reason is that to teach you halacha that you shouldn't come to go to l'choil, Dama Kadesh Yomei Noifim Yontif l'Shabbos, V'chaynu Marav Yontif in, B'Yontif loy. El Rava, my area Erev Yontif, I feel B'Yontif nami. Guys, the reason for Ravashi is you want to make sure that you don't make a mistake going from Yontif l'choil. So therefore, I have to do it Erev Yontif, right? I have to do it Erev Yontif. But according to Rava, that just to make a Mana Yafa for Shabbos Why do you have to make the Erev Tavshilin Erev Shabbos? Make the Erev Tavshilin on Yontif itself. You don't have to wait till Erev Yontif. On Yontif itself. We make the Erev Tavshilin, guys, on Erev Yontif, right? I'll tell you why. Because I want to make a distinction that you can't, just like you can't go from Yontif to Shabbos, you can't go out from Yontif to Chol. But according to Rava, that the whole purpose was that to have a Mana Yafel the Shabbos, why do you have to make the Erev Tavshilin Erev Shabbos on Yontif, take a piece of meat, a piece of egg, put it aside on Yontif and say, this is for Shabbos. And now you'll know I chose a Mana Yafel the Shabbos. Why did it have to be Erev Yontif? All I have to do is making Mana L'Kavod Shabbos. I could do that on Yontif also. That's the kasha. You could. We're worried maybe you might forget. You'll be Pasheya, so therefore we make it Erev Yontif. Okay, so we have, guys, we have two reasons for Erev Tavshilin. One is to ensure that, according to one opinion, that you'll put a money yafal l'kavod Shabbos. Another reason that you'll l'kavod Yontif, that you shouldn't cook from Yontif l'chayil. You can't cook from Yontif l'Shabbos. I won't cook from Yontif l'chayil. That's the two reasons for Erev Tavshilin. Now we get a third reason. We have a Tana who brings from here. Of Dover on Tez Vav Amid Beis, where the lines get wide, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines down, and we're given a reason for Erev Tavshilin. The Tana Ma'aslei Mehacha. It says, the pasuk says, let me just get you the pasuk over here. Eis asher tofu, that you're going to bake, ephoi, bake. The eis asher tevashlu, bashelu. Now it's very funny. It's a double lashon, right? This is the din of achana. Eis asher tofu, efu, ve'esher tevashelu, bashelu. So what's this double lashon over here? Says the Gemara. I'll tell you what the lashon is. I'll tell you what the double lashon is. Mikan Amar Rabbi Eliezer, ein oifen ela ala afui. You can't bake only on something that was previously baked. You can't bake unless something was previously baked. You can't bake on Yontif for Shabbos unless something was previously baked. And you can't cook from Yontif to Shabbos. Here we have a source of Erev Tavshilin. They found a source Minat Torah. So doesn't simply be a two psukim. Zachar Shem Shabbos Zachreu. Since you're going to forget Shabbos, do something to go ahead and remember it. We said that Ikar Pasuk is a Gemara in Arvei Pesachim to tell me Kiddush on wine. But over here we're saying make some emblem to remember Shabbos in your simplest Yontif. That's one Pasuk. And now we're going to Pasuk about that you bake previously, you bake upon. That you cook previously, you cook upon. And that's a smach of what for Erev Tavshilin. And that's a source for Erev Tavshilin. Ma'aser Rabbi Eliezer, Shayoshev v'darish kolayim kula bilchus Yontif. It was Yontif already. It was Yontif, and Rabbi Eliezer was darshing in Hilchos Yontif. Now, guy Rabbi Eliezer was a Shemuti. He was a Talmud Shammai. He was a big Machmir, and Yatsa Kat Rishayna. These people went home to eat on Yontif. They left to eat. So Amru Halalu Bali Patisim. He said these guys have a lot of wine. They got to drink a lot of wine. That's why they're leaving the base medrash. Kachniya, the second group got up. Amru Halalu Bali Chavias. They have barrels. Kachlishis Amru Halalu Bali Kadim. They have jugs. Kanavias Amru Halalu Bali Leginin. But Chamishis Amru Halalu Bali Kaisis. In other words, all of them, he's speaking down derogatorily that they're leaving yeshiva, they're leaving Torah to go ahead and engage in drinking wine. This depending on how much wine they had, but each one was getting their own zug. Kachishis latseis, Amalali Bali Mara. These people are Bali Mara, they're desolate. Nasanedu b'talmidim who remained, his chilupnei and mishtan, and all the talmidim began to get a little bent out of shape. Amalhem banai. I wasn't speaking about you who remained. I was only speaking about the ones that left. They leave Chaya Olam of Torah to be Yosek and Chaya Shah. When they finally left the base medrash, he told them, go eat from your fat, drink from your sweets, Loi ki kodesh hayom ladanenu v'al atzu ki chedes Hashem himu sfem. Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what is your strength. So l'chayra, you got a problem. There's such a thing called Simchas Yontif. So why was Rabbi Eliezer going ahead and giving them a zog? So I think it's a good point to stop because it's going to that sugya. But so far we've introduced the Erev Tavshilin, we bring two psukim, we introduced the pasuk in Memvav and Pesach in the Machlokes, whether you say hoyel or not, hoyel that Urchim would be there, and whether Rav Chisda says you don't need hoyel because he doesn't hold the hoyel, but he holds you could go ahead and cook from Shabbos Liyantif. Rabbi Pashta says you can't, and that's why Rabbi said you have to have the hoyel. You can't. So it's machlokes the raisa between Rabbi Eliezer, Rav Chisda, and Rava whether you're able to prepare from Shabbos to Yom Tov now, whether it's din the raisa or not. Okay. So Bez Hashem, I wish everyone gemach sim tova. Thank you for listening. Moitzi Yom Tov, I'll keep you informed. I have to learn my chavusi afterwards. We'll do the best we can. Hakadosh Baruch Hu she answered kol mishalos bech letova. I'll just give you one deher that I not that it's not getting any of you, but we're told that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will go ahead. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will go ahead and He will forgive all our averos. He'll forgive our averos. He'll forgive. But the averos that are ben adam l'chaveroi, we saw in Masechta Yuma, you're not going to be mechapat sheisratz l'chaveroi. You have to go ahead and deal with your friend. Now think about it. Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He did every single thing in the world. There's nothing He can't do. There's nothing beyond the scope. Except one thing, He can't get you a kapara if you wronged your friend. He tells you openly, I can't give you a kapara unless you clean. Okay. So now, people hold grudges. People hold grudges. We know we're angry at people, we keep it on, we hold on to it. Why is that? Why is it that we don't forget the wrongs people do to us? What's the underlying reason? And I was thinking about it, and the reason I think that it's just clearly the one word is gaiva. We all have a sense of ourselves and our importance. And this person hurt me. What's the proof? If that person that hurt you would come over you and say, I'm really sorry what I did to you. Any one of us would say, I forgive you, b'leiv shalom. Why is that? Because the person was machnia himself to you. So your gaiva was fed. You admitted you did wrong to me. Of course I forgive you because you wronged me. And now you're feeding me by telling me that you wronged me. Of course I forgive you. But that's not what Hashem wants. Hashem wants you to forgive them even before they ask. Because the same Hashem who wants you to forgive them is the same Hashem who made it difficult for you to forgive them. It's the same Hashem who told you, who put in you that feeling of gaiva. And what does Hashem tell us? Kol hamavar al midosav. Anyone who goes against his base nature. Again, and the base nature is not to forgive. Mavirin loy al kol p'shav. Hashem will go ahead and be mavir. All is p'shav. Guys, it won't even get to the docket. You won't need tshuva. Mavirin loy kol p'shav. It's going to pass it over. It won't even count. You know why? Because you went against your base nature. I'll go against my base nature, which is to go ahead and have a dayonis and a judgment and everything. And it's so unbelievable because we would forgive anyone who comes over to us and says, I'm sorry, right away. But why is that? It's so much more choshev to go ahead and say, I'm moichel everyone, b'leiv shalom, anyone who's wronged me. And I know you get rid of that gaiva and you get rid of it. And it's such a rewarding feeling because then it's really, really totally you. Nothing to do with it's nothing to do with gaiva. It's the opposite of you. It's the taking the me away. It's saying, Rabbi Shalom, I'm not that important. It's much more important than what you want, Rabbi Shalom. And you want me to be a forgiveness. You want me to look away. Just like you, I want you to look away from me. I want you to look away from him. And if you do that, if you're able to forgive people, if you're able to be mavral midosav, we have the Avtacha from a Gemara in Rosh Hashanah, I think it's Daf Yomi Beitzah, that kol mavral midosav, mavirun loya kol p'shav. May we all be zoich in the schus of forgiveness, all ourselves. I yes mechila from everybody, and thank you all for listening all the time. It really means a lot to me.
Thank you, Rabbi.